Right, so potential Manchester City departures. We'll just follow that up now as well. Potential incoming as well, and speak live to our South American football expert, Tim Vickery. Also find out a little bit about a few other players from South America who could find themselves into the Premier League. Good to see you again, Tim. The last time you were here in the studio next to me, you're back in Rio now?
I am, yeah, where it's alarmingly cold. I want my money back. I've been the victim of a cruel hoax.
Tell you, it's lovely here. It's 32. It's 32.
So I'm told.
Come back.
I don't expect sympathy. In a couple of months' time, the boot will be on the other foot. But in the meantime, you're sweltering. I'm suffering.
Don't worry, you will get absolutely no sympathy in this studio from me and James. Let's start with a man who's used to sunnier climes, just like you, Rodrygo. Now, he's been linked before with Arsenal, but recently he's been linked with Manchester City. Could you see him going to the Etihad?
Oh, it's intriguing, isn't it? On the one hand, and surely its interest from City is a confession that they've made mistakes letting players like Julian Alvarez and Cole Palmer go. But Rodrygo from Real Madrid, we talked today on the 12th of August, and you think, no, it can't happen. But let's fast forward to the 24th of August. Real Madrid will have played 2 games. Where has he been able to fit in to Xabi Alonso's new Real Madrid? The evidence from the Club World Cup for him wasn't particularly impressive. I think the only game he started wide right, and he really doesn't want to play there. Always remember what Jude Bellingham said about him last year, that he's probably the most talented player in the Real Madrid squad and the one who has to sacrifice himself most for the team. And perhaps the entry of Kylian Mbappe has just unbalanced things a little bit, and Rodrigo has been the one who's had to sacrifice. So if we fast forward a couple of weeks and Rodrigo feels himself not as important at Real Madrid as he'd like to be, there are very, very few clubs he could go to that wouldn't be a significant step down. Man City, I think, wouldn't be a significant step down. And so, well, let's monitor this space. As of today, perhaps unlikely. Fast forward to the 24th, 25th of August, possible. And it could be a kind of last-minute transfer window saga going on there.
It would be a fascinating move, that, wouldn't it? But we also know that Pep Guardiola likes a smaller squad, so there will be some outgoings too. And this is interesting because Sevenho is wanted by Spurs. In fact, they've been having talks with him, even though Man City don't really want him to leave. But would you be surprised that he could leave so early into his City career?
Yeah, I think it is. It would be a surprise. He didn't have a bad debut season with City, but he didn't have the impact that many were expecting, and perhaps not the impact that he himself was expecting. I don't really think that's so much his fault. I think that's City, that little collapse they had after Rodri got injured. But what's crucial here is the timing. Remember, we're on the countdown now to the World Cup. And Sevenho was beginning to establish himself in the Brazil team. He played 6 World Cup qualifiers in a row, either starting or off the bench. And then in came Carlo Ancelotti. Now, Ancelotti's first squad for qualifiers in early June, Sevenho wasn't even in it. Now, that, I'm sure, that has set off alarm bells. So I'm sure in his mind, there must be a temptation. Well, if I go to a club that gives me Champions League football where I can be more important than City, perhaps I can shine, catch Ancelotti's eye and attention and get myself back in international contention in time for the World Cup. I think if it wasn't for the World Cup, it's very unlikely that we'd be discussing this because I'm not sure that he'd be interested. But in the countdown to 2026, I think that's putting a little bit of dynamite behind this one.
OK, let's talk about a player who we expect to be on his way to Sunderland. Well, he's already in the northeast, actually, but expect this to be confirmed soon. And that is Omar Alderete, who's been signed from Getafe. What can fans expect from him? Is he a bit of a Paraguayan hard man?
Well, he's got that, yes. I mean, the legendary resilience of Paraguayan defending. And he's part of a national team who have done remarkably well. It's one defeat in 10 since the new coach came in, and they're on the verge of qualifying for the World Cup, which didn't look likely at all just over a year ago. What he offers, I think, is that kind of resilient and aggressive defending, but also a left foot. He can play on his best position, I think, is a left-sided centre-back. But he can also play at left back. And he gives you the option of playing out from the back, opening up the field with his left-footed passing, because he's got quite a sweet left foot on him. Battle-hardened. This isn't a kid. You're not taking a flyer on him. This is someone who's been around, from Paraguay to Argentina and Germany, and then more recently a few seasons in Spain. From the newly promoted club, you really want someone like that, I think, coming in. Someone battle-hardened with a little bit of quality as well.
All right, great stuff. Let's finish with a player who's not in the Premier League now, but could be in the future, because Chelsea are considering a move for the Bayer Leverkusen and Ecuador defender Pierro Hincapié. That's according to some reports that we've seen. Chelsea in need of some defensive cover, particularly with Levi Colwill possibly out for even the season, but at least for a large part of it. Hincapié, part of a very good Leverkusen side, in fact, part of an invincible side. So could he be the answer to Chelsea's defensive issues?
I think he certainly could. You mentioned Leverkusen, but also Ecuador. Ecuador, their defensive unit, they've qualified for the World Cup. They've conceded 1 goal in the last 9 games. It's an extraordinary defensive record. Chelsea fans remembering the final of the Club World Cup, one of the things that facilitated their victory was the absence of one of those Ecuadorian centre-backs, William Pacho, who was suspended and I think was badly missed. Hincapié is his international colleague. He's only 23. He's played almost 50 times for Ecuador already. I'm surprised he hasn't been linked with the Premier League already. And when he first came through, I was a little bit dubious. I thought he was a little bit spindly, would suffer physically, and he was making mistakes. But I think he was making mistakes because Ecuador threw him in so young. But he's really, really come through very well. And some of the things I just said about Alderete also apply to Hincapié. He's left-footed. He can play left-back role as well as left-sided centre-back, or in a back 4 or a back 3. He's quick, and Ecuador can defend with a very, very high line. And he's combative. He loves bringing the ball out of defence. There are so many things that Hincapié would offer, and I'm quite surprised he hasn't been linked with the Premier League already. And there's another one. Ecuador have another one. He's currently playing right back in the national team just because they can't fit him into centre-back. Only 21 years old, Joel Ordóñez, who plays for Bruges at the moment, may be on his way to Marseille, but there is interest from Premier League clubs wanting to hijack this move. So one of the success stories at the moment in international football is that Ecuadorian defensive unit, and Hincapié for Chelsea, I think, would make perfect sense. Ordóñez for lots of other Premier League clubs would make sense as well. Watch this space. Oh, we will. Tim, always great to speak to you. Great stuff as ever. Very sorry to hear it's not flip-flop weather anymore, though. I don't wear flip-flops. I don't hold with them. I'm a traditionalist on this side. I won't have them. I won't have them. I love it. It's just strolling down Ipanema Beach with some nice brogues on. Cheers. Espadrilles. Espadrilles. That's the secret. Thanks, Tim.